There is a particular kind of silence that falls over a football stadium when a true warrior lays down his sword. It is not the hollow silence of defeat, nor the anxious silence of a crowd waiting for something to happen. It is something deeper, heavier, more profound. It is the silence of collective recognition, the moment when tens of thousands of people simultaneously realize they are witnessing the end of something they will never see again. As this Premier League season winds down towards its May conclusion, that silence is poised to wrap itself around one man. Carlos Enrique Casemiro, known to the world simply as Casemiro. The Brazilian midfielder, the man who once looked at a broken Manchester United and declared with quiet, unshakable conviction, "I'll fix it," is set to leave the club at the end of the season. His contract still has time to run, but the winds of change are blowing through Old Trafford, and they carry with them the scent of a farewell. In the summer of 2022, Manchester United was a club in crisis, a fallen giant stumbling through a seemingly endless fog of mediocrity and dysfunction. They had just endured their worst ever Premier League season, finishing sixth with a goal difference of 0. The new manager, Erik ten Hag, had arrived with a reputation for tactical discipline, but his first 2 league games resulted in humiliating defeats to Brighton and, most damningly, a 4-0 capitulation away at Brentford. Casemiro, still a Real Madrid player, watched that Brentford match on television. He saw a United midfield overrun, outfought, and outclassed. While others saw a sinking ship, Casemiro saw a mission. He turned to his agent and sent a message that has since become legendary. "Tell them I'll fix it." He wasn't coming for the weather, which in Manchester is famously grey, nor for the history, which at that point felt like a distant memory. He came with a purpose, a self-appointed savior on a quest to restore pride to a wounded giant. And in that first season, he delivered spectacularly. He was the colossus they so desperately needed, a hard-tackling, long-passing, game-reading savant who transformed the team's spine. He brought authority to a midfield that had been a soft underbelly for years. He lifted the Carabao Cup in February 2023 at Wembley, scoring a thumping header and winning the Man of the Match award in the final against Newcastle United. It ended a 6-year trophy drought for the club, and in that moment, it felt as though his promise had been fulfilled. He had fixed it. He had made United winners again. However, time is the one opponent no defensive midfielder, no matter how legendary, can ever truly tackle. The Premier League is a relentless, physically punishing competition, and this season, the 34-year-old's body has not always been willing to follow the commands of his mind. There have been moments of struggle, matches where the pace of the game has seemed to move just a fraction faster than his legs can carry him. Football is a cruel sport of fine margins, where a split-second loss of acceleration can turn a match-winning interception into a costly yellow card. There have been rumors, tactical shifts, and a natural, brutal cycle of a club looking to rebuild with younger legs. The situation has been complicated by injuries, including a spell where he was asked to fill in at center back, a role that exposed his declining pace rather than protecting his positional intelligence. The narrative shifted, and suddenly, the man who came to fix things found himself being discussed as a problem to be solved. The club is in transition once more, and the direction points toward the future without him. Yet, even as his physical prowess has waned and the chatter around his departure has grown, something rather beautiful has happened. The Old Trafford faithful, a fan base often divided by factionalism and frustration, have united behind him. They haven't seen a player going through the motions, collecting a final paycheck. They have seen the fight, the visible frustration, the tackles, the passion, and the unwavering pride of a man who refuses to go quietly. They have seen a warrior battling against the dying of his own light, and they have responded not with mockery or impatience, but with an outpouring of love. In recent weeks, the Stretford end has echoed with chants begging him to stay just one more year, a melodic plea from a support that recognizes genuine commitment when it sees it. In a recent interview, Casemiro himself was visibly emotional, almost taken aback by the sheer volume and sincerity of the affection being shown to him. He spoke with the reflective air of a man who has seen it all and knows the end is near. He compared it to his time in Madrid, noting that in Spain, the environment at the Bernabeu could be ruthless. A single loss could feel like a funeral, with whistles raining down from the stands. But in Manchester, he observed, even in defeat, the support from the fans never wavered. "It's unbelievable for me," he said, his voice thick with emotion, a warrior visibly touched by the grace of unconditional backing. He spoke of his gratitude, of his family's happiness in England, and of the deep connection he feels with a club and a city that, on the surface, could not be more different from the sunshine and splendor of Madrid. And so, as the final weeks of the season tick by, we arrive at the present moment. This weekend, or perhaps in the final home match of the campaign, when Casemiro walks off the Old Trafford pitch for what everyone understands to be the last time, he will leave behind far more than a collection of medals and memories. He leaves behind a lesson, a living, breathing testament to what it means to be a professional, to sacrifice for the collective, to never, ever stop fighting, even when your body begins to betray you. He may be leaving, but the echo of his tackles, the roar that greeted his goals, and the image of his warrior's face, etched with effort and love, will linger in that famous old stadium for a very long time indeed.